I'm gonna poop my pants. Only got $0.25 in my pocket. I'm pooping, looking for a toilet. This is fucking gruesome. Yeah, walk into the store like, what up? Here comes a big fart. Nah, I just dumped. I did a shit at a Walmart. Poop on the floor. Sure takes some beating. The people like, damn, buddy, what you eating? Wading in ankle deep, headed to the sit down, dressed in all white, but now everything's turning brown. Washing off in the sink, guy standing next to me. Probably should have closed his mouth, flexing poop, flying free. Piss. Oh shit, there's a taco truck, friend. Gonna poop my pants. Only got $0.25 in my pocket. I'm pooping, looking for a toilet. This is fucking gruesome. I'm gonna poop my pants. Only got $0.25 in my pocket. I'm pooping, looking for a toilet. This is fucking gruesome. I wear these poop stained clothes. My show's unwatchable. I took a big ass dump on the grip shop. That's my show. I wear these poop stained clothes. My show's unwatchable. I took a big ass dump on the grip shop. That's my show.
We both have eyes and a nose. We have hands we can wave to our friends. We both have ears and feet. We can stomp, stomp, stomp to the beat. We can play happily. Take my hand and best friends will be. I have AUT, ISM, don't be scared of me, don't be scared of me, 'cause we're the same. I have AUT, ISM, autism. Let's be friends and play a game. I might seem different, but we're the same. You are witnessing autism.
The opinions of the people in videos on this stream may or may not be their own. We do not condone going after anyone mentioned on this stream or in any way, shape, or form. If we discover that you have done so, you will no longer be welcome in this community because at the end of the day, we are going for humor, and you should love, and you should keep that in mind. This is a topic that might get you riled up, and that is okay. It happens. We do not support cancel culture in any way, shape, or form. We don't stand for bigotry, sexism, transphobia, etc. either. But what we do encourage you to do is your own research into topics that may be brought up on the stream, and therefore you can come to your own conclusions that way. You don't go to CNN for dick jokes, so please do not come here for hard-hitting news. There may be foul language in some of this as well, in videos that we may or may not agree with. We are way more HBO than Disney, so come here with that in mind. If you cannot handle adult language, this is your sign to turn away now. With all that said, welcome to the stream and enjoy your time here on Salt Mountain.
Oh, I don't know where to begin. We're North Americans, and for those of you who still think we're from England, we're not. No, we build our planes and our ships, then we think we might die. Far from North America, where the buildings are old, and you might have lots of miles. Oh. I heard you feel like you're looking at me that way. Cause we're North Americans, but if we act all shy, it'll make it okay. It makes it go away. Well, I don't know where to begin. When we're North American, but in the end, make the same mistakes all over again. Come on, North America.
Hey, buddies! Welcome in to K-Salt FM on this Tuesday. This is a Tuesday stream. It's a little different today. This is not the day I usually stream, but I want to do this in the future. And why is my display capture not capturing the display? I don't want to do that. And I want to do that. How's it going, everybody? I hope y'all are well. We're just on the Kicks and the YouTubes today. Give me a second to tweet out that we're live. Hold on. Pause. Assuming Twitter loads quickly. Because I call myself the autistic uncle of YouTube, and I am not going to take that call because it said spam. And I am live, so I'm not taking that anyway. Anyway, sorry about that, folks. It happens when we're live on a day that I'm not scheduled to be live. So we're gonna have a lot of fun, folks. the way to call in tonight, actually, because we are going to take phone calls on these, and I think I'm going to do these a lot more. And more on Tuesdays are a good day for K-Salt FM news here, okay? So we're going to continue to do this. But right now, if you've not heard what the BAM situation is, BAM stands for Bricks and Minifigs. And a couple years ago, they were basically a Lego pawn shop, is the best way to explain it. Alright? There's tons of videos and streams by people like Reckless Ben, Sheldon Norcross is one, Lus, BJC, Barbecue Counselor, and a whole host of others. And if I forget your name, I'm sorry. It's not intentional. We've got a lot of things to go through right now. And let me just tell. Alrighty. So yeah, I will say if Pun King is out there watching, I appreciate you. I hope you and Aussie have a great stream in about a half an hour. I am glad to be the pregame show, so to speak. If you don't know me, you can call me Nick. I have autism. Okay, and that's a valid point. You probably could figure that out from the intro music I played tonight. But we're gonna go into this right now. And bam. Bricks and Minifigs. This guy brought in. Oh, that's right. I gotta explain this a little bit. The quick and dirty way to explain it is this guy, Brian Mansell in Oregon, brought in his dad's Star Wars Lego collection that is apparently worth around $200,000 for them to sell through consignment. Okay? He had a written agreement and everything. Alright? The corporation, the franchise, the overall corporate franchise folks decided to take over the store and deny that they had a consignment agreement with him. And it's gotten ugly. There's lawsuits going on the franchise war part, or Bricks and Minifigs part. It's nuts. We're gonna go play a couple videos, and we're gonna go over some of the latest updates to this. One of which, I'm just gonna say this: it's gonna make your fucking blood boil. And when we get to that, your boy is gonna go on a rant. So tell your friends, get everyone in here. It's something you're gonna want to at least hear. And if you're watching from the future and you didn't catch this live, I'm gonna try to do like these type of streams Tuesdays around 4:30 Pacific time, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, and they will be co-streamed live on Kick and YouTube. When I transition to scenes, you may see a Kick logo. Kick is my preferred platform, but YouTube is definitely one that I like as well. We're not monetized on YouTube. We are monetized over on Kick. So there will be no super chats tonight. And that's okay. It happens. And since I'm doing this through Meld and not Restream, I'm not bringing up any like chats on stream. Well, I mean, the chat box is there and it's ready for you. And there's my horrible typing today. That is in there. If you want to call in, there is a link in the Discord. Just join the server. I am on the Salt Mountain Community Center stage. And to join in the show, all you do is you hop into the audience, request to speak. I will bring you on the air, and we will get into it that way. Okay? Now, everything that we're going to get into here, as the scroll on the bottom says, and as I said in the disclaimer, is allegedly, in my opinion. We don't know if it's true or not. It's based on the information that we have and that has been uncovered. Okay? So you live in that little universe for just a second. Let's go to the bammap.com. I will grab this, and this is the latest update. Let me just send it over onto the YouTubes instead of the Kick. That is the first link that we're going to look at today. All right, folks? And bear with me. Bear with me, folks. I will get this as best I can. I haven't done one of these shows in a while. So bear with me, folks. Bear with me. I am getting to it. So I am rusty. I am rusty as hell. So anyway. Oh, we have a little translate button. Let's hit the translate button on this. The BJC button. And we will read. This is going to be a lot of reading today, and guys, I will butcher things. I am sorry. But I will butcher things. Let's go here. In December, Bricks and Minifigs had Reckless Ben charged with the crime. Trespassing at its Provo office. And if you haven't seen this, go back and watch Reckless Ben's videos on this, like I had said. They're tremendous, and I think part 4 may be coming at some point. I think Sheldon said they were going to do more filming for it today, or this week or something. I don't know exactly, but bear with me. The whole case comes down to something you can hold in one hand. Which side of a glass door was he standing on? That's it. That's the case. And the reason that small question gets big fast is the hallway on the other side of that door does not belong to the company. Neither does the office. Bricks and Minifigs owns nothing in that building. It rents. One ground rule. Oh, that's interesting. This is news. This is actually news. This was posted an hour or so ago, I think. One ground rule before we start. Not a single thing of this has been decided by a court. Ben is presumed innocent, and the property questions on this page are open questions. We're going to be honest about what we do not know, which the BAM map is honest with what they don't know and don't know. They are very good at labeling things, and I, for one, appreciate this. Here's what the public records say. So if anyone decides to have a go at me here, these are all public records. You don't. So this is publicly available. You or I could have found this, folks. if we had enough time to search. Start with the building. The company's Provo headquarters is one suite in a small four-unit office building. The county's property records, which anybody can look up, do show, they show that the owner holds 3 of those 4 units. Okay, the Bricks and Minifigs suite and the entire top floor and the suite next door. The signatures tie that owner to the law firm that works upstairs. On the floor it owns through a family trust of one of the firms. So basically, the company's landlord is a law firm. Yeah. Okay, so this is the part that's interesting. In the middle of the lawsuits last summer, because Bricks and Minifigs and the McNeff brothers love to sue people, the Snidely Whiplash brothers. So we're going to call them Snidely Whiplash and Alfred E. Newman. Folks, that's how we're going to call them. If you're of a certain age, you know Alfred E. Newman from the Mad magazines. Okay? They created a brand new company to hold the Bricks and Minifigs trademark. The address they wrote down for it, the law firm's own suite upstairs. We can't prove that the firm is their lawyer, and the lawyer who appears in court from them is a different person. But the family rents its office from a law firm and keeps one of its own companies inside that law firm's office. So basically what they're saying here is we're not saying that there's a connection, but you fill in the blanks. That's what I'm reading from it. They're not saying it, but you can infer in your own head what that means. And I'm not going to read every single word from this, because I put the link in chat. You can actually read it yourself when you have the time. But basically, now we're getting into the hallway. December 10th, Ben spoke with Snidely, at that building. That conversation is the trespass charge. The detective who took a sworn statement to get the charge pressed on him says it as an indoor story. Ben only left the office once the owner walked away into a different room. The company gave police video of Ben entering the office, and on the strength of that story, a judge signed a warrant that reached the contents of Ben's entire Google account. Let me say that again. These motherfuckers got into lied to the cops to get into Ben's YouTube account. Allegedly, in my opinion. Scumbag fucks, huh? But watch the video. The 2 men are not inside anything. They were standing in the building's hallway. Marble floor, elevator, a drinking fountain. The company's glass door with its holiday decorations is right beside them. Someone on the Reckless Ben subreddit matched the hallway to an old leasing flyer for the exact building. And a different room the owner walks away into? On the video, that's him stepping back through the glass door, off the hallway into the office. The hallway is not the company's. The building's own maps draw the hallway outside every suite. The way the hallway of an apartment building belongs to the building, not to any one apartment. It's shared space. It answers to the building's owners, and anybody with a brain who's been listening the last few minutes here knows who mostly owns the building: the law firm. So that brings the question, could they even legally tell him to leave? So this goes into that. If the company has no power over the hallway, they can't ask him to leave the hallway. So the trespass. But apparently there's a quiet spot in the record. Apparently the landlord and tenant are not exactly strangers, and nobody seems to ask. So basically, what part of this is saying or inferring, and they're not saying it, but they're suggesting possibility. Okay, I'm tr- I'm I'm hoping I'm phrasing this correctly. They're basically saying, there's a connection there. Yeah, the McNeff's the the McGoof's family's other business, Legally Mind, sells one product. I'm sorry, not projects. I'm a true ass.
I am thoroughly tickled.
I bet you are. I bet you are. Arrangement. Legally Mine sells arrangements built so nobody can tell who really controls what. That is their pitch. They're running it on themselves. The whole company holds an office it does not own in a building owned by the firm that keeps the family's trademark company inside it. And their trespass charge needs a court order to answer cleanly who controlled the hallway. We do not know how that question comes out. We do know who built the question. But renting your office is normal and etc. The BAM map and Rose, if you're watching out there, y'all do a great job. I appreciate you. Appreciate what you do, and your reporting is top notch, Rose. If you're even listening to this, you may be listening to this later on. I don't know. We're gonna go on to the next thing, and we're gonna go on to the next thing here. This part actually pisses me off. Let me see if anybody's calling in or DMing or anything here. Bear with me. And checking Twitter to see if anything is coming in. So that update on itself is pretty interesting. This update excuse me, let me get a drink of water. Forgot there's no water in this thing. Anyway, this one makes my blood boil. Okay? You're gonna get pissed off at this one. And I will say this will come up in things that you will find online and everything. Also, like the stream, folks. Like the stream over on YouTube. If you can. That helps me, and it helps me get closer to monetization. But, and I will say, before we get into this one, the last one where the dots are connected in that the lawyers that owned, all that stuff in the first update, it doesn't take a blind man to actually see the connection there. That's my opinion, allegedly. This update, strap in, kids, is titled Financial Abuse of a Vulnerable Person. I'm not going to read the entire thing. That's why I put the link in the chat. But there is this, and there's something that our friends over at Echo Base Network put on their members only, which as much as I want to talk about it, I think it's been mentioned publicly by other people in Discords. Not so I feel like I can talk about it. So I'm going to say, well, I don't know how to exactly do this, but I'm a disabled person myself. I think we have made that abundantly clear. Okay? Yeah, we've made this abundantly clear that I am. But abuse of anybody, of any kind, is wrong. Alright? There was a store in Canby, Oregon. The brand's original store was sold to a company called Plastic Pallet LLC. The money came from a 65-year-old woman named Christina Cooper, and in the words of her complaint, she was in poor health. What happened to her produced the only claim of its kind on any docket the site has reported, the site being the BAM map. Financial abuse of a vulnerable person. Pleaded under the Oregon statute written to protect the elderly. So elder abuse, financial elder abuse, folks, that's the types of chuckle fucks we have to deal with here with BAM. And we're going to go through all. I'm not reading this. I have the complete audio of the hearing. I'm not going to play this. You can go ahead and you can read this in your own time. The store where Brian Mansell took his collection was the Kaiser store. Both sides were taking pictures. And there's this. And I believe there's another stream that is going live in 3 minutes that is going to blow more up on this. And I will let them do that. As I put the update to this in here, there was a ledger, and There's a U-Haul. There's multiple U-Hauls. Folks, this is a goddamn rabbit hole. Okay? This also is a new update from today. I'm going to go into this. And we're going to let you guys out there decide what's there. We're also going to look at Legally Mime as well, which I'll get into in a minute. It's got some shout outs to people. 1 second. Sorry to say. Here we go. So these are the operations manuals 17 and 18. These are from publicly published things. So section 17 is the buy counter. Section 18 is the marketing. Section 17 exists to take the lever of them slowing the intake. The store cannot stop buying, or is not allowed to stop buying. I'm reading this for the first time as you guys. Bricks and Minifigs brand-wide policy prohibits the practice of choosing not to buy trade products from customers entirely unless through a corporate-approved appropriate exception. A grand opening or a Black Friday can be designated a buy trade blackout date, but those will be communicated by corporate, not chosen by the store. And orders who read older manuals to permit a pause are corrected. This is not an approved practice. What the owner keeps is the price dial, very low cash offers, the cool overstock, never a closed counter. And in case the point was missed, the next chapter repeats it with its own exclamation point, as a numbered principle titled Never Turn Off In-Store Buys. The rest of that chapter counts. Heartland Resort reports standard loss prevention is ordinary retail housekeeping. I ain't reading. So the intake runs at corporate's pace. The other end of the store, the face it shows the street, is Section 18 subject. The first thing the manual establishes about that face is its most valuable name belongs to somebody else. The one brand it sells and may not claim. Bricks and Minifigs sells Lego. And the section in the manual is where it explains the terms on which it is allowed to its own franchisees. It begins by conceding what is owned and by whom. The Lego Group is okay. The Lego Group is the owner of a wide range of trademarks, including the Lego logo, the minifigure, and the basic brick. Hold on to that for a second. The minifigure and the brick. The two objects this company's stores exist to sell loose, by the bag, and by the bin, are listed in its own manual as another company's property. The store standing is a guest's, and the manual says so. Each store is committed to protecting the Lego brand by following its listed rules and regulations. Rules that live in two Lego documents, the Fair Play Policy and the E-Taylor Rulebook, which the manual stacks above itself. Its own policies are in addition to Lego's and do not replace them. Before we continue with this, I need to highlight this just so I know where we left off. The elder abuse thing is horrible. And I've heard of a story where the Boise store owned by Reed Bunghole, and he's connected to all this too. The BAM map has everything, folks. It's fucking tremendous. They hired a person with cerebral palsy, a disabled person. Okay? They had him sorting bricks, which is fine. That's a cool job to do. I don't begrudge the kid for doing it or the company for asking him to do it. But what I do begrudge them for doing, and that they are fucking scumbags for, and you know you're scumbags for this, is apparently they didn't pay him anything. Let me say that again. They didn't pay him anything. Allegedly. Oh, let that sit for a minute. This is the type of scumbag fucks that you're dealing with when you go to a Bricks and Minifigs. Not the local owners, the corporate. Because he's also apparently part of corporate. And I'm not saying every local owner of Bricks and Minifigs is bad. I want to make that perfectly clear. I'm not saying that. I'm saying corporate is making y'all look bad. If any owners who might be watching this. And by the way, you guys aren't even really owners if you think about it. You're managers who have to give your own payroll, get the lease, and front the money, because y'all are basically employees without the employee part of Bricks and Minifigs. When you think about it, because how many of you can actually afford to give yourself a salary? Think about that one for a second. If you can't afford to give yourself a salary, congratulations, you're working for the man instead of being the man. And I know as a disabled person myself, I have told other disabled people about this. And I have told people not to go to Bricks and Minifigs. And I personally would never knowingly step foot in one because of this. I'm sorry to any of the good owners out there. And I'm sorry you got stuck up in this. But sadly, there ain't much for the consumer to do. Not that I'm buying Legos anyway. But you get what I'm saying. Anyway, the company knows how far that. Going back to this article. I'm sorry for the rant. I'm sorry for this being all over the goddamn place. I'm trying, folks. Believe me, I'm trying. Anyway. The company knows exactly how far that authority reaches because it has felt it. The blue brick logo on every storefront exists because Lego told the company to change its old one. Oh shit. Oh shit. In 2019, at the request of Lego Group, Bricks and Minifigs recognize the need to avoid any infringement on Lego IP. The name over the door had already been rewritten. I can say that third time lucky. Once, at the request of the brand it resells, so the rules run one way, and the manual recites them without complaint. The LEGO logo may never be altered, cropped, tilted, recolored, or written within. It must not appear as if we are a LEGO store or officially endorsed by LEGO. Interesting. It must be crowded, shown with 2 to 4 other logos of brands you carry in store, and never larger than the store's own. On the web page, it must wear a disclaimer. LEGO does not sponsor, authorize, or endorse this site. And the manual then concedes the disclaimer cures nothing. Improper use of the LEGO logo or LEGO trademark cannot be made proper by including a disclaimer. Then the wall goes up between the mark and the money. The store may not use the LEGO logo to promote non-LEGO branded brand products or services, such as, but not limited to, bulk tubs, used sets, and the minifig maker table. Bulk bricks, individual minifigs, birthday parties, any aspect of the buy-sell trade process, hiring or store updates. Doesn't that? I'm no rocket scientist. I'm no lawyer. I'm no investigative journalist here. But to me, to you guys, please tell me. Doesn't that sound exactly what Bricks and Minifigs are doing? That list is the list is their business. Those are the departments the pricing chapters call the profit centers. In a system where new sealed sets are not their core business, the one place a LEGO sign is required is that lowest margin shelf, and the store does not even source the sign. It's provided by Toy House, the franchisor's designated distributor, which they have to use, and must be placed by or above the new in box section. The name that brings every customer through the door may hang only over the boxes the store profits least from, never over the bins where the money is made. That's the licensing whether Bricks and Minifigs lives under. And what LEGO does to Bricks and Minifigs does to its stores. And the article goes on. I'm not going to read all of it, but I highly suggest you out there do. I'm trying to do fair use here, folks. As best as I can. Oh my god, folks, this is... So, guys, any comments? Any comments right now? Anybody have anything to say out there? Okay. If not, that is fine. We will go on to legallymime.com. Check this out. This is a hilarious site. If you've already been through the BAM map or been following it from day one, like I have. Trust me, folks. Trust me, folks. It's going to be very... This whole thing will get you pissed off. Litigation Pitmasters. Nonverbal accurate So this is our boys Les and BBQ Counselor. They did a live stream today, Saturday. Congratulations on your sub plateau area gold there, barbecue counselor. If you're watching this, you're doing a great job, my friend, and keep it up. Now we're gonna watch a couple of videos. First by Maddie Appleseed. I will like the video preemptively. I haven't seen this. Well, actually, what we're gonna do quickly, folks, is I'm going to be right back because I got to run to the restroom. So we will BRB and then we'll continue. We'll watch the videos. Bear with me. It won't be any music, but y'all can play Plinko. Hey folks, I am back. Let me just go here. And I will say, and before we watch this, I will say this about the McGoof brothers out there. Okay? How fucking dare you? How fucking dare you decide to go to mess with seniors, disabled people, and also have in your operations manual things about how to exploit people, mothers, fathers, kids, building a triangle of trust. Who do you think you are trying to manipulate people? And then to have the gall to say, when somebody complains about the price of the Legos, well, they're good for people with autism. As somebody with autism, sit and rotate, motherfucker. Sit and rotate. Fuck you. If you're wondering why, if you're wondering for one more reason why I'll never go to a Bricks and Minifigs, it's that right there. You exploit people. Shame on you. Allegedly. Allegedly. My opinion. You don't have to like my opinion, but I'm allowed to have it. Okay? And this is all based on everything that's public. Okay? Anyway, let's watch this Matty Appleseed video. He makes great content. He's been doing a lot on this. Let's see what this guy has to say. And if you've never seen my reaction stuff before, I will pause frequently to comment. Here we go.
According to reports, the same LEGO sets listed in Crystal's inventory of the Mansell collection appeared for sale shortly afterward in the online.
Crystal's inventory is Crystal Law, Crystal Gorman, whatever you want to call her. She's the one who owned the Salem store and did the consignment.
Online store of the Eugene Bricks and Minifigs location. The Eugene location owned by the same Brandon Best who seized the Salem store. And the evidence outlined in the BAM map is beginning to paint a very clear picture of what might have happened to the Mansell family Star Wars collection. Now, if you haven't heard of it, the BAM map is an investigative archive documenting the Bricks and Minifigs scandal created by some of the most passionate internet sleuths the world has ever seen. And diehards following the Bricks and Minifigs scandal even know that the BAM map was recently served with a cease and desist letter from.
Yeah, they were served with a cease and desist letter because it hit a little too far close to home.
Bricks and Minifigs corporate for publishing what it called confidential copyrighted information. Information that was so confidential, by the way, despite being publicly accessible.
What is this? The support document. Oh no. They didn't even private the support document. Oh my god, this is everything. This is what you're paying for as a franchisee. But now everyone can get it for free.
Now, what most people don't.
That is so dumb on so many levels. And shout out to us also, by the way. I know I've shouted out multiple people throughout this, and I know I've missed people sometimes, but if I did, I'm sorry. Call in, you're out there. I know you're out there watching somewhere, or you'll see this VOD, or people will see this. Call in your good people too. So is the Reckless Ben crew.
Don't know is that the BAM map's latest updates show verifiable proof that the Eugene Bricks and Minifigs online store listed a surprisingly shocking number of the same LEGO sets from the Mansell collection after the Salem store was taken over. Let's take a look at the evidence shown in the article, Who Actually Took Over the Kaiser Store, and decide for yourself whether it's all just a big coincidence. 3 sets, 1 shelf, 1 night. 2 dated records of the same sets.
The evidence doesn't lie, people. The evidence never lies. Proof never lies.
Now go home and get your fucking shine box.
Yeah, go home and get your fucking shine box.
The photos on the left were taken by Crystal on the night of November 14th, 2024, when her Salem Bricks and Minifigs location was seized. And the listings on the right were postings made afterwards of the same sets on the Eugene Bricks and Minifigs online storefront. But with one catch, they're built and boxless. Now, opening a new in-box LEGO set to sell used would absolutely decrease the value and may even seem sacrilegious to LEGO fanatics, but it would also be an easy way to hide its connection to the Mansell collection. Now, I wonder if any employees at the Eugene store remember being told to build a ton of new in-box LEGO sets and recall thinking, why the hell would I do that? Well, I guess this update from the BAM map would help to clear that up for you. Thanks, BAM map. But the rabbit hole goes even deeper than that, since the BAM map shows dozens of LEGO Star Wars.
This ain't a rabbit hole, Maddie. This is a shit onion, and there are so many layers. There are so many layers that this guy would be impressed.
I just peed in my basement.
The quartering. Yes, I just made a quartering reference in a Bricks and Minifigs stream. That's how talented I am, bitches.
Sets listed in the Eugene online store that line up with sets from the Mansell collection, including many new in-box listings, with some appearing to have 19 or even 30 copies. And these new in-box sets looked strangely familiar, as if I'd seen them somewhere before. Here's a social media post Crystal made at the Salem store promoting the Mansell collection. And to me, it looks like there could be upwards of 30 copies of the same set. Now, despite a shocking number of identical sets coincidentally appearing in the Eugene store shortly after the Salem Salem takeover, none of the 8 most valuable sets, each worth over $1,000, have ever resurfaced, including most notably the $10,000 Cloud City Lego set still missing. Now, the absence of these
Scumbags.
rare sets reveals something interesting. If you think about it, a used Lego store can put almost any low-value Lego set on the shelf without attracting any attention. But if the same rare high-end sets from the Mansell collection suddenly started appearing at the Eugene store, people would probably notice. On top of that, many people have speculated that Brandon and Josh may have taken Lego from the Mansell collection without Eamon's knowledge. And if that did happen, what do you think they would have taken? Lower value sets? Mid-value sets? Or the rarest, most expensive sets that would give them the most buck for their bang?
I know what BAM has allegedly done, although nobody with a brain believes it. Fired their asses. What BAM probably did is move them to just some other one of their millions of shell companies and told them to be quiet. That's my guess as to what happened. I could be wrong. I don't know. I have no way of knowing that. It's just my informed decision.
Intended misuse of colloquial-based pun intended. And when you consider the experience of another former franchisee who also dealt with Josh and Brandon in the aftermath of his own store's hostile takeover, it starts to look like there may be a track record of Josh and Brandon skimming off the top.
And then we would
Shocker. Oh, shout out The Last Relic. I've been watching him lately too. He's good, folks. Give him a follow. He's a fellow Kick streamer as well. By the way, this is being streamed on Kick and YouTube. You can watch the VOD over on the YouTubes.
be forced to like pack up all this new stuff we got and mail it.
By the way, if you are watching this on the YouTube after the stream, type in the comments below, I'm a VOD watcher.
To like their
Eugene,
yeah, their main store location. Then it was very apparent, like, you are just using this store to supply your main location until you bleed us dry.
Anytime we got in a good trade, they would see it in the system, and then they would call the manager, and then we'd have to pack it up and send it to the Eugene location.
Really?
And sometimes, if we had a decent amount of cash on us in the safe, they'd ask us to deposit into their account. So then we had like no cash for trades. Happened quite a lot. Here's the crazy thing. They claimed they never took over the store. Like, Amin confronted Josh and Brandon, like, all right, it's time for you to buy this store from us that you've been controlling for the past 6 months. And then they're like, actually, you know, we're not feeling it. They claimed that they never were the owners of that location.
Yes, they claim.
Wow. So it sounds like BAM Corporate are a bunch of assholes. And that's me putting it mildly, people. Lovely.
That's when we found out that they weren't paying any of our bills and that corporate was actually paying everything.
When it was time for Josh and Brandon to start, like, all right, now this is your official store, like, after they destroyed it, they're like, actually, no.
Yeah, we don't want it.
We don't want it. And then they just had all the good stuff shipped out to Eugene, Oregon.
Yep.
And the money in the safe. And then don't even know if corporate knew.
So let me get this straight. If they never owned the Florida BAM location, why were they having the most valuable sets sent to their Eugene store? And why do they want all the cash in the safe? To me, that raises questions about possible embezzlement. But whether that's true, I guess, depends on one key question. Did Eamon know about it? Apparently, Eamon planned on selling the Florida store to Josh and Brandon after taking it from Relic without paying him a dime. So if that's the case, why would he let the future buyers remove all the store's most valuable inventory before the sale? But on the
Because admin isn't the brightest tool in the shed like he thinks he is. My guess. Never met the man, don't intend to ever meet the man. But from everything that I've seen about him online and seen interviews with him, I don't think he's the smartest tool in the shed. Let me tell you how stupid Ammon is. Snidely Whiplash is. Okay? This man has a psychology degree, and yet he calls people human output machines. Let that sink in. He said it in an interview on a Spotify podcast with his realtors that he uses for BAM.
On the other hand, if Eamon didn't know,
Oh, and Ammon was supposed to be on 1851 franchising at the end of this month. It was supposed to be last month, but they pushed it back, and then they finally deleted it. Ammon ran because he couldn't take the heat from the live chats that was going on. He ran like Ann.
no, the details from Florida could just be another instance of Brandon and Josh skimming off the top and embezzling money from the hard-working franchisees of BAM. So were the most expensive sets from the Mansell collection skimmed off the top? In a typical liquidation, the most valuable items would be the first thing sold because they bring in the most money. So the fact that the rarest sets from the Mansell collection have never resurfaced is what really stands out and needs an explanation. The BAM map states Mansell's Cloud City, valued as high as $10,000, sits in the unsold column of BAM's own ledger, and no copy tied to the seizure ever surfaced. It is absent from Best & Johnson's own Eugene storefront, and while the common version is stocked in a few of the 134 stores, none are intake dated to the seizure window, and Mansell's own copy appeared nowhere. Now, the intake dating specifically refers to a timestamp created and associated with every product listed in the BAM Eugene online shop. And according to
And I will say this to the people who worked on that spreadsheet and getting all this data, and you know who you are. Great fucking job. Great journalism. You guys are doing an amazing job, and you did amazing. Pat yourselves on the fucking back.
the BAM map, the data reveals something very significant because just weeks after the Salem store was taken over, there was a sudden spike of 23 Star Wars sets added to the inventory. Now, this isn't just a busy day. It's a complete outlier, unlike anything else in the store's 5-year history. And of those 23 sets, 13 were exact matches to sets from the Mansell collection. As the BAM map puts it, that is the statistical fingerprint of one collection processed at once, not walk-in trades arriving one by one. Now, you might want to prepare yourselves by taking a seat and buckling up for this next one, since it's a...
Strap in, kids. Oh, and Snidely Whiplash, in the words of Bill Burr, go fuck yourself in your own asshole.
About to sound like a cheesy infomercial, because if you thought that was all, just wait, there's more. Now, Brando's really been keeping us busy, and you may have never expected this update, because there was yet another U-Haul that's come to light with the...
Mr. President, a third U-Haul has hit the tower. I'm telling you, folks, this just gets shittier and shittier as it goes on, doesn't it?
Reservation number 98444-165, being made by Brandon Best on November 15th, 2025. Brandon was caught on camera with the U-Haul at the Salem Bricks and Minifigs location. He even admitted to being at the Eugene store earlier that day and going back and forth.
Yeah. Were you in that big truck or? Yeah, I know there's one like Eugene and stuff like that I heard, but.
Yeah, it's, I was at Eugene earlier today.
Oh, nice.
But really go back and forth here.
That's Brandon.
How much staff do you have?
Now, that November 15th date in 2025 being exactly 1 year after the BAM Salem takeover is very interesting for many reasons. Some have speculated that a 1-year storage agreement may have ended on a unit used after the Salem takeover. Adding to that speculation, the BAM map identifies 3 nearby U-Haul locations with reviews from someone named Brandon B, posted within a year of the Salem takeover, which...
Oh, shit. Connection.
Which raises the question, if those reviews were from Brandon Best, what was being stored in those units? And when examining the details of these reviews, one of them in particular is in reference to, quote, when we closed out our unit on January 6th, 2025. I wonder when that unit was initially rented, perhaps after the November 14th takeover? It's also worth considering how the third U-Haul appearing on November 15th, 2025 lines up with the timeline of Reckless Ben's initial inquiries into the Mansell collection. Was Brandon trying to tie up loose ends after Ben started looking into the collection? And just 2 weeks after the third U-Haul appears, Brandon's Eugene Bricks and Minifigs posted this advertisement promoting a Black Friday sale offering up to 40% off used sets. And yeah,
Now, guys, I'm going to say this and I'm going to be clear. Do not go harass these people. As they say in the YouTube commentary community, do not touch the poo. You can look at it, laugh at it, stare at it, but do not touch the poo.
sure, Black Friday sales are normal, but given the timing and the circumstances, it naturally...
And if anybody from my community, and it's known they came from watching this video and decided to harass these people, you're a scumbag human just like Snidely and Alfred are. And Reed Bunghole, too. You may as well fucking call him Cornholio. Because he needs TP for his bunghole.
Draws attention. And if that weren't enough, let's compare two videos of the Eugene Store's Star Wars section. Here's the before video. Seems like pretty slim pickings to me, Brando. Your walls are looking a little empty there, bud. Now let's look at another video from after. It looks like a ton of new Star Wars product hit the shelves. Woohoo!
Yeah, it's looking like he moved it to that Eugene store. This is I don't know for sure. I can never know for sure. This is my opinion. This is allegedly, because we live in the world of allegedly now. None of this stuff is known for a fact, but we can see the evidence with our eyes and see it with our ear and hear it with our ears, can't we, people?
Good job restocking, Brando. Now all the credit of these findings goes to the great people behind the creation of the BAM map, and to a little bird called Tattle, who will forever live on as a symbol of a phoenix in our hearts and minds. You know, BAM can hire all the lawyers they want, but there's no price that will beat the sheer grit and determination of those who put their heart and soul into uncovering the truth by shining a light on darkness. Now, those who operate in the shadows fear the light, and the BAM map is that light. I encourage everyone to take a few minutes to read the full stories. Who actually took over the Kaiser store, the Eugene sale, and the third U-Haul. You can find them by clicking updates in the top right corner of the homepage at thebammap.com or through the links in the description below. And if you'd like to support the people behind thebammap.com, you can donate using the link in the upper right corner of the homepage. Now, despite the BAM...
Support the BAM map, folks. Support original reporting. Support good reporting. Do whatever you can to help them out. They're great people.
Map being the #1 source for all the greatest investigative breakthroughs regarding this Bricks and Minifigs scandal. You can still find a wide range of jovial jests at legallymime.com. So now that we can rest easy knowing that BAM's being taken down brick by brick, you can head over to Legally Mime and check out their hilarious cast of characters. I mean, have you guys seen this site yet? The silent brick doesn't look too...
Legally Mime is a hilarious site, and I've been talking to the owner of that site. You're fucking great, dude. Keep it up. You're doing an amazing job. We love you long time.
Too happy to find himself trapped in a box he created but can't escape. At least based on the evidence presented, he seems to be working hard to fulfill his duties as the head of physical asset dissolution. Where'd all those Mansell collections go, Brandon? Now, I've gone deep into this investigation because I'm fed up with people using corporations as a shield for shameless wrongdoing. And to me, accountability matters. So I've got many more Bricks and Minifigs updates coming to the channel, including exclusive interviews with former BAM franchisees. So make sure to subscribe to Matty Appleseed and turn on bell notifications so you don't miss that. Because
do it now. I have. So now we're going to go into this next one that I have not seen from Brett Norman. I will post the link in my chat. There's that for you. We're going to watch this together, but I want to do this first. Check this out. I hope you all are having a great evening wherever you might be watching this. What are your thoughts on all this stuff so far, chat? I know I've been doing a lot of talking. You can call in via the Discord link in the description below on YouTube. Obviously, if this is not live, you cannot call in. But I think you're smart enough humans to know that. I do think you're smart enough human beings to figure that out. Okay, let's go there. We'll get to this video in a second. I'm just trying to pull meld up. Okay. This is a 16-minute video, and just like the last one, I frequently pause. So if you were ready, Brett Norman, who I have no clue who he is, asks if you should you support Bricks and Minifigs? In my personal opinion, the answer is not just a no, but it's a fuck no. But that's my opinion. Let's go. Okay, why didn't this?
I wanted to talk to you all more about that Bricks and Minifigs situation that's happening, and can the company themselves bounce back from this whole situation? Well, my short answer is absolutely not. The damage is done, whether they like it or not.
They're fucked. They're super fucked. They're so fucked. They didn't even get butt dinner first. That's the level of fucked they are.
Like they're in a frying pan on high, burning, just like it's bad. Honestly, there ain't no going back from this, guys. Part 4 of Reckless Ben has come out. A lot of people are talking about it, arguing, going over all the information. There's been a lot of body cam footage from police that have been released to the public, which has put in a lot of scrutiny towards Bricks and Minifigs as a corporation. Now, Bricks and Minifigs, right? The whole situation started potentially, but not exactly, from one collection of Star Wars. I think it was more than just Star Wars, though, but a lot of people seem to just be saying Star Wars. I think it might even just be Star Wars.
It is just Star Wars, Brett. It is just Star Wars Legos. It was a massive collection.
But anyways, that's not the point. $200,000 worth roughly of product from one person on consignment to this one specific franchise store. And one of the crazier things that seems to be getting glazed over by everybody is how the franchisee ownership works of the business. So the specific Bricks and Minifigs that took in that $200,000 collection, those owners were kicked out of their store. They don't really explain the greatest as to why it's a couple, a male and a female. They don't really explain why particularly they were kicked out. But the reality is, as a franchisee owner, you sign like 300 million pieces of paper, legal documents on basically admitting and agreeing that like you're gonna run a Bricks and Minifigs mortar business store, right? You're going to fill it with products that you're gonna have to buy and pay for, and you're gonna build this business up, but you're also never gonna own nothing. I don't.
Yeah, it's not a good business model. And I will say this: the only way the Bricks and Minifigs can survive this is if the normies don't get a hold of this. Because if the normal people, if normal folks, not us people who watch YouTube or online a lot, know about, find out, they're fucked.
I think they even are legally allowed to
Just my opinion, allegedly.
own the buildings. I assume everything has to be leased and rented to even get into this uh, fake ownership. I don't like calling it business ownership because it's really not. And going back to this couple, they got kicked out of the store. That's what kind of started this whole thing. They get kicked out. New owners are taking over the store. They refuse to do a proper spreadsheet on exactly what inventory and product that they have in the store. Huge blunder. I don't know why you'd even like. Why wouldn't you want to do that? Wouldn't you want to know how much money you have out there in a approximate product, just so you have an idea on how to run the business? Like what a shady way to run a business. But anyways, that's not the point of this video. That person is taking that store straight into the ground. Financially, they're not gonna work out at all. But it seems like a lot of Bricks and Minifigs owners are learning the hard way about ownership and like, do they actually own this business? You own nothing of this business. You are a franchisee, and it's crazy that people like
You own nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
don't seem to understand until they're in the situation, like how dire it is. It's not good. It's really, really not good. Now, with all of this exposure, the reckless Ben for the last like 2 months approximately, right? All this drama going on. He's got crazy charges, court cases. He's got lawyers dealing with like all this chaos that's going on. All it's done is obliterated the reputation of the Bricks and Minifigs franchise. And now I've noticed other stores across the United States are trying to host game nights, trivia nights, launch nights, just like Lego collecting fun stuff, right, in the evenings. And I've noticed they're canceling their events because of the hate mob that they've created. And the reality is if
And I feel bad for the shows, the local stores that are getting the hate mobs, but they have to. But those local stores have to blame corporate for those hate mobs and understand it isn't them personally the people are mad at. You're just a public face of it, so you're gonna get the hate. As sucky as that is. It isn't fair, it is not fun, but that's where we're at.
franchise owner, you're attached to the company. Whether you're guilty of a crime, or you've committed a sin, whatever it is, right? You've maybe screwed over some customers in the past, whatever it may be. You're all attached to one entity, and that is Bricks and Minifigs. And this CEO, Amon, forgive me, I can't say it properly. That person is the worst spokesperson they could have picked. The little evil mustache dude, worst person they could have picked.
Snidely Whiplash. Brett, call him Snidely Whiplash.
He's going. Honestly, to me, it was full Kyle mode, like Karen mode. I'm like, what do you like? The interaction between Reckless Ben, I think he was wearing
Kyle's mom's a bitch, as South Park taught us.
meta glasses, and him at his commercial not sorry, yeah, commercial, but they're like headquarters business. So it's more about their corporate side than like the actual Bricks Minifig store. They have a conversation there. It goes nowhere. Like this Ammon guy did everything he could to lie his way out of the problems, and then basically uh, blame Reckless Ben for any wrongdoings that his company employees have committed. It's such a crazy circumstance, but again, getting back to the Bricks and Minifigs owners, they're done for. They're done for. Like if I was a Bricks and Minifigs owner, I'd be looking for loopholes on to either sue the company for defamation, for destruction of your company and your.
Yeah, I'm sure they are. I am sure Brooks and Minifigs owners either are, and I know that there is a Bricks and Minifigs franchisee organization out there too. to try to fight back against corporate. But we'll see how that works out. I hope it does work out, and if those people have joined that, good for them.
Your image, your everything. Like some people have their entire lives invested into these companies and they've put all their eggs into one basket, which unfortunately isn't a great idea. A lot of people learn the hard way for the most random things like this. Like what franchisee owner for a Lego company thought they'd be going through a robbery scandal? Like it's so random. Like of all like 2026 of all things to happen, this is not what anybody expected at all to happen. And here we are, right? So it's so sad. And the worst part about it is this Bricks and Minifigs store did offer a service to the public, and that's ruined. It's forever tainted. It's ruined. It's not going to come back, and they've just killed it. They've just killed the vibe. It's so sad. You know, I'm sure there's a lot of kids that used to go on a Wednesday evening, Thursday evening, Friday evening, did little set build challenges, did little Lego show offs, whatever, right? Any fun little entertainment thing, and it's all been destroyed and ruined because of what? Like I'm seeing now, it seems like the company Bricks and Minifigs is really putting their money where their mouth is, and they are spending a ton of coin to silence multiple people, not just Reckless Ben, but to also hush this whole situation and make it disappear. Not enough money in the world's ever going to fix what you've done to people because you've hit them right here, right? Hopefully that's where my heart is. You all know. You hit them right in the heart, right? You hit them in the worst spot imaginable and you just killed it. Like you've destroyed your business and I cannot believe it. I personally truly believe there should be a Bricks and Minifigs boycott completely from top to bottom. Never walk into their store, never do any business with them whatsoever. Does that affect the franchisee owners? Yes. Is it unfortunate? Absolutely. But should it still be done? Yeah, it should be done. I'm so
Friends don't let friends shop at Bricks and Minifigs. Congratulations, Snidely and Alfred. You own the next Quiznos and Circuit City.
hurts to have to say as somebody that I know, like as a smaller business owner, I could see it's going to devastate a lot of families. But the reality is, you signed up with this company. That's the issue here. As a franchisee owner, everything goes hand in hand. Not only do you not really own the company or business, but the company and business also has to take some blame and fault for partnering up with you as well, right? So the owners, the newer owners of this store, the specific store that stole a $200,000 collection, they're just as responsible as Bricks and Minifigs are, and both have committed enough damage to destroy the company for good. Like it's destroyed. So yes, there's going to be other business owners, unfortunately, around the United States that are suffering, but they need to pivot now. Now, like don't sit back and think, oh, things are gonna, grass is greener on the other side. No, for you guys, the grass is dead on the other side. You walk over to the other side, that grass is gone. Like it's gone. It's gravel now. Okay, it's just rocks. There is no grass. Don't go there. Don't, please. Like I think this is a situation of like not just damage control, but cleanup now at this point. I think at this point, we need to do a cleanup song like you would in elementary and get this company out, like gone. We don't need people like this, especially selling products to children, right? Like they're dealing with children, they're dealing with families. This should be a very reputable company and someone that everybody should be able to put their trust and faith in. And clearly, that is not the company that Bricks and Minifigs is trying to represent. Again, there's going to be a lot of like innocents that get caught up in this matter, but at the end of the day, we have quite an evil Hydra style company that's just going after everybody and anybody. They don't care. Like at this point, I've really noticed that it's like that corporate company, they just opened up their finance department and said, let's go to town, let's sue everybody and anybody that we can, let's lose all of our money now rather than later. Like I assume they've got some decent funds behind them, but not enough to hold off the entire country. You know what I mean? Like they can do what they want with Reckless Ben and make his life a living hell all they want. It's not going to stop what's started. This is a revolution, and it's not stopping. You have unfortunately done more than just permanent damage to your company. You're also making it where now forever, like there might be a change when it comes to specifically the resale of Lego. I could see a lot of distrust, maybe people not even selling their stuff to these stores.
The last Relic said Lego ain't gonna do shit, and I believe him. Lego doesn't care about this as much as you and I would love for them to. They don't care. They do not give a flying fuck. As long as Bricks and Minifigs pays them, they're okay with it. And that's sad. But that's also the reality of the situation, folks. That really is. And I think that the only action that I think we have as consumers is to boycott Bricks and Minifigs. As much as it sucks for the actual good owners out there, or franchisees out there, I know I'm telling my people that I know not to shop there, never to go there. They're not worth your time.
As much like there's going to be,
in my opinion. Remember, this is all in my opinion, guys. I am allowed to have my opinion, and I am having that in this hour and a half long stream. Here we go. Let's finish this video out.
Be some changes. I don't know exactly what the fallout's going to be, but it's, maybe we'll see some other companies come up on the rise or something. But for a fact, people now are going to be thinking twice about, specifically going to Bricks and Minifigs, but also maybe even supporting corporate stores that are still like a small mom and pop style like franchise. Like they're corporate, but they're not massive, right? Like yeah, they have some stores spread across the states, but not a ton, right? Like I can't believe this company has done this. So yeah, I would recommend avoiding the company if you live in the United States. I mean, their prices are fairly expensive anyways. They're more of like a full-blown retail store.
You do know, Brett, that Lego is a good tool for kids with autism. You do understand that, right? Fucking motherfuckers.
Or it is nice that they offer retail or retired products, but there is no reputation behind this company anymore. Like there's none at all. Another thing that I find interesting, everybody's putting their 2 cents in like lawyer talk wise, and I don't think we need to care or worry too much about lawyer talk. Let the reckless Ben court case thing go on, and like let everybody worry about that. That's actively dealing with those court cases. But I think people should now just focus mostly on the avoiding of the company and blaming. Like take the pictures constantly of Bricks and Minifigs and just shun them. Put them online everywhere constantly and just talk about how this company is not a good or responsible company, because they're not. They are not taking responsibility for any of this situation. They've tried to just stack with Reckless Ben on criminal charges, just stack him up and basically send him off to the shadow realm where we'll never see him again.
They want this to just go away. And by doing so, they've made sure that it will never go away. Well done, BAM Corporate. Well done.
And thankfully, that's not going to happen. But yeah, I can't believe this company. I can't believe, like, if we had this in Alberta, I would be walking to those stores and making clips and videos and exposing them and doing everything I could to honestly hurt them further, like, and to make their companies stop existing, because this shouldn't be here. We shouldn't be going through things like this. And the fact that a company is able to use their finances and funds just to silence people is so evil. Like, that's so evil that we're at this point. They legitimately do not care about the public thoughts, the public outcry, nothing. And yet we're the ones that walk into their store and shop for their product. So if you stop shopping for their product, they're going to have to open those ears, maybe even open your eyes. You know what I mean? Like, they're going to have to do something eventually. And I hope, honestly, they shut their businesses down. I hope they close. I don't want this company to exist. We don't need this in a world where there's a lot of great businesses out there, as well as you're dealing with children again, which is a whole nother ball game of like honesty, respect. Like there's so much more to this situation that they just don't seem to care about. And it also seems like nobody else wants to talk about it really. Like all of the employees at the Bricks and Minifigs store are just avoiding the situation, and like you can't avoid nothing here, okay? You can't avoid this. This is an unavoidable situation that has genuinely gotten worse. Like right now we're in August and I feel like the situation's only getting worse. More and more videos day after day, millions and millions of views, hundreds and hundreds of conversations every day about this company. They're not running from this situation. They might be able to silence it in a court. They might be able to drag it out in a court. But between you and me, this video here, other people's videos on their YouTubes, it is proving the point. And that point is stop. Stop, Bricks and Minifigs. Give up. Don't do this. Don't do this anymore. This is horrible, right? You know, clearly you're not for the public and you don't care. And you're also not for your franchisee owners either, which is devastating. That you don't care about. Those are your employees, okay? They run your business. They keep your reputation healthy. They do all the events. They source the product for you. They're doing all the legwork to keep your company brand name there, and you don't care not one bit. That's so devastating. And for that reason, I'm out. Like Dragon's Den and Shark Tank.
Yeah. I was never in on Bricks and Minifigs. I have never heard about them before this. I didn't even know we had one locally to me. Okay? So I ask you guys out there, tell your normie friends, tell people that you know, do not stop at shops at Bricks and Minifigs. Explain to them why. Find videos that explain it simply. Because there has to be an end to this sometime, right? This has to be over sometime. And I have a feeling, and this is my opinion, my feeling. I have a feeling that this is just going to end with Bricks and Minifigs being no more, and they only have themselves to blame. And it couldn't happen to nicer people, a better bunch of people either, in my opinion. Anyway, guys, I've been on an hour and a half. We've got no calls today, and that's fine. This came up impromptu as of yesterday. I decided to do this. So that's fine, but I should be back next week around 4:30 p.m. Pacific time as we'll do some more of this cuz I think Tuesdays are going to be great days for stuff like this. And I hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you're watching on the VODs, try to catch me live. We'd love to have you. You're welcome in our community here on Salt Mountain. And we're taking off. Good night.